All right, we are recording for the mixed media and photo collage demo. So for the mixed media, what I did is I grabbed a photo I took at the safari park of the macaw, and I want to combine it with this picture of a painting, right? And so whether you take, a picture, if you do a drawing or a painting, it helps if it's on white, but you can still blend it different ways depending on what you're doing. So I'm just going to open up Photoshop. All right. So if you're in Photopea or Photoshop, you basically can open up, different photos in different tabs like this. And then what you want to do is use the Move tool, and basically you want to drag on the photo onto the other photo. So I'm just going to drag the tab off so it snaps off. I'm going to click inside this photo and basically drag and drop it onto my photo of my macaw. You will notice that sometimes if you take things in different resolutions, like the background photo is really high res, this isn't as high res, I can free transform it. Same as in Photopea, just go edit and then free transform. The shortcut is Command or Control T. You get these little boxes around it, so if you start dragging them out, you can actually resize your layer, in different ways. So I'm just gonna kind of make it bigger here. There we go. It's gonna size it up. So basically I opened it, I dragged that second layer on top, and then I adjusted that layer by free transforming it. So what we can do is a couple different options. This is the same as Photoshop Mix, which is a mixed media app on the smartphone. So with your layers, you can change the layer blending mode. So we got lots of different types. In Photoshop, if you kind of hover over each one, it'll preview it. In Photopea, it's not going to preview it, but I'll kind of show which ones I would kind of look at. So the multiply is when you want the dark parts of the top layer to show through. The screen is when you want the light parts of the layer on the top to show through. Overlay, soft light, and hard light are kind of like contrast, where it kind of lets things through in different ways. And then you can also, if you have it on normal, you can also just change the opacity of a layer. So I'm just going to bring it down from 100% down to like 45, and then you can see it's basically like, letting stuff through from my layer below, because I'm just 45% of the top layer. So those are kind of the easiest options. So a lot of times I see people do stuff like this. I'm just going to kind of modify my tree a little bit more. So I'm just going to go to Edit, Free Transform, and get this to kind of look a little better. There we go. With my parrot, there we go. Let's see if I can get the eye to get in a clear spot. There we go. And if it's too strong, again, even if you use a blending mode, you can still bring down the opacity. Maybe you want to kind of show more of the underlying layer, right? So I could do 80% with the screen blending mode. That's kind of cool with the bird showing up in the shape of the plant. So on Photoshop Mix, I could do the same thing. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen real quick and then show my camera. I'm just going to pin myself so I can see what I'm doing. All right. So if you're interested in editing mixed media on your phone, I would use Photoshop Mix, M-I-X. It is a free app. So it is right... Here we go. It's this guy here. It says Photoshop Mix. Kind of looks like two circles. So again, it's Photoshop Mix. So how Photoshop Mix works, they do have a little tutorial. So it says tutorial here, and then you just click the little, and I'll start kind of showing you all the different features in Photoshop Mix, where you can cut out a subject and then more importantly blend a subject, which is what I was doing with our layer blending modes. So let's say, I had the photo of my dog running. what I could do is add a second photo to blend with it. So if I took a photo of my artwork, right, that would work. So I don't have one, but I'm just going to click the little plus, and then it says add a layer. So I'm just going to choose an image, or I can use text or a color if I want to do something, or they have templates too. So let's add some text. So it's adding like text to the bottom, and you'll see on the left there's my background layer and then my top layer, right? And so then I could add text if I wanted to. I'm actually going to blend a photo just so I can see what that looks like. One sec. I'm just going to, and when you click on a layer, oh, sorry, I'll try to show that better. So if you click on the layer here on the side, it'll give you these options. So again, you can change your opacity if you just want to show 50% of the opacity of the layer. You can change the blend mode. So where it says blend mode, right now it's set to normal. So if you want to blend different ways, you can. I'm just going to delete that layer here. And then I'm going to click the plus. I'm going to choose the image from my phone. So let's choose one of my photos. Let's do, one sec. I'm trying to see. No, not that one. I'm trying to see what would work with my photo. All right, here we go. So I'm going to add this photo I took of the flower. So I'm going to blend that. So whether that's a painting of a flower, like you took a picture of a painting, that's cool too, right? So it has the little boxes, so you can, zoom in and size it up and rotate it using your fingers. So I basically just sized it up. You can still see your layers here on the left. So what I'm going to do now is click on the layer, and it gives me those options. So again, I could adjust the opacity, make it like 50%, and then you can see it's kind of clear now, right? Or, I'm going to bring the opacity back, I can click on the blend mode, and then let's try screen, which is the one I tried with the parrot. So now you can see it does a really cool kind of double exposure look. So I'm just going to kind of move it over so it's kind of not over the dog. And I'm going to zoom in. There we go. So kind of like zoomed in. Now I'm not blocking the dog. So then I can go and use the little output button on the top. It looks like a little square with an arrow. And then save it to my phone. So just select camera roll, and then save it to your phone. So the blending modes of opacity is the easiest way. You can do the cutout mode. What the cutout mode is let's go back to my flower layer. I'm just going to change my blend mode back to normal. Okay. So the cutout option is basically it's going to select your subject. So I'm going to do cutout, and then it has a little selection tool, so I'm just going to kind of paint and select the parts of the flower. Sometimes it selects it right. It's doing its best guess, And then once you're done, I just did it real quick. Just hit the little check, and then it basically cut out so it can kind of show through the layer. I did a rough job, but you can kind of see how it can cut out and select the subject if you want it like perfectly cut out. So it's pretty good. It's a free app. It's Photoshop Mix. You can do quite a bit with it where you're blending layers. So for photo collaging, that's where we want to use multiple photos to create a layout. So I'm just going to use, one sec. Where are we at? There we go. So if I have multiple photos, again, I could open them in Camera Raw and edit them. I'm just going to kind of show this quickly just for time. So I'm just going to open up the 5 copies into Photoshop. So if you're doing this on Photoshop or Photopea, what you want to do is create a new document. Go File, New, and then you can do custom sizes. So this is basically like a 19 by 19 inch square. You can change the background color. So if you want it white, black, or transparent, or choose a custom color. I'm just going to do white just to make it easy. And then I'm just going to hit create. And so then all I am is just basically moving over, photos onto that background photo. And again, I would probably, once I drag them over, I'm going to go to edit, free transform, and I can size them down, So then I can basically just make an arrangement with my photos. So I'm basically just snapping them off, drag and dropping them.
You're not showing your screen.
Oh, shoot. Dang it. Good old distance learning. All right, let's present. Sorry. Oh, it'll still show up the same. All right. So all I'm doing is I opened up multiple photos in these different tabs up top, and then I went to File, New, and then you can create a custom size. You can change the width and the height, resolution, the background color, all that, and then just hit Create, and I'll create a new canvas. So then all you do is just drag these, snap off the tabs using the Move tool. Move tool is here, and then just drag and drop them onto your new document, right? And you'll see it show up in your layers. I'm just gonna kind of move this up. There we go. So you can see I've dragged over 3 photos now. And then just click on a layer. So this is my layer 3. And then if you want to size it, just go edit, free transform. It's the same as Photo P as the free transform. And then you can just kind of play with the arrangement, the size of them, totally up to you. I'm going to click on my layer 2, which is this photo, edit, free transform. Right. So for the photo collage, I want you to at least shoot like 8 photos. So, you might want to make a pretty big document, maybe 24 by 24 inches, and then just kind of size down using the free transform your different photos that you drag onto it. So again, just drag the tab so it snaps off, use that move tool, click inside the photo, drag and let go onto your background, and then I'll drag that layer on, and then I'm just going to edit, free transform. So that's the most rudimentary way, quickest way of doing a photo collage in Photoshop or Photo P. Once you're finished, you need to collapse your layers. So then just go layers and then down to flatten image. And I'll basically combine all your layers into the one. And then I can save it out as a JPEG. So I'm just going to go File, Save As. Make sure the format's JPEG. Let's call this J. Bartel's photo collage, and then save it where you want it to go. And then you're just gonna upload for your photo collage. Upload the original photos you used, and then the final version, and then just tell me, hey, this is my final one that I made. If I'm using an app, there's tons of good apps for making photo collages with all kinds of layouts. So I'm just going to show that real quick. The one I like that's free is called Photo Grid. So up there it says Photo Grid. Just going to open it up. And then just select the grid option. It says Grid. And so I'm just going to choose some photos I took from my trip to Red Rocks Canyon. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 photos selected. And I'm just going to click you got different kind of layout options. Some are free, some are you have to pay for. So let's try this one. So put it in an automatic layout, and then to adjust where they place them, because it's going to crop, just click on one of the photos, and then you can literally like move it around, the way you want. So it's hard to do this facing the screen, but there you go. And so you can kind of move. You can also pinch and size it in. You can also you can change the layout more. So at the bottom, it gives you options to layout. The ratio is basically, do you want it a square shape or do you want a different shape of your, and then how thick do you want your borders, background colors. You can add text, all kinds of stuff to it. So PhotoGrid is a really good free app for doing photo collages. I'd say it's probably the easiest and cheapest because it's free. And then you just save it to your camera roll. So I'm going to stop recording. So does anyone have any